everybody, how you guys doing? My name is Salazar. You're watching The Art of Comics. I am so excited today, as always, to talk about comic books and the things that I love that really just get me turned on. I've got this new podcast called The Salazar Show. It's becoming a lot about comics. It's not every episode, but I've been interviewing and talking to other comic creators, Ariel Celestino, Tony Donnelly, a bunch of other guys, and so I'm excited. So check that out on Stitcher and Anchor and Spotify and hopefully iTunes pretty soon. There's some issues with that. So Andre Salazar Show podcast. But right now, YouTube is all about visuals, video stuff, and I want to talk to you about, as you saw the title, it's about the Watchmen. Now, here's my Watchmen. Okay, here's my Watchmen. I don't know what edition is this. This is like old school edition. Is this first printing? It might be first printing. I'm not seeing it saying second printing or any other kind of printing. I think this might be first printing. This is my Watchmen copy. I've read this so many times. I even have it signed by Dave Gibbons. Okay, he writes in that little Rorschach right there, little sketch. Love this book. Love this story. Love Alan Moore. Big, huge Alan Moore mark. I haven't talked about this because there's so much to unpack. It's so in-depth, and I wanted to have a bunch of episodes under me, what I wanted to do before I tackled this, because I feel like this, Mouse, From Hell, there's some books out there that are heavy, big, and I wanted to know what I'm doing before I go into this. So, I love it, but it's in reserve. So because of that, and because I do not like anything that Zack Snyder does, I'm not a fan of the movie. I was very hesitant to see the HBO show. I'm just I'm not into the translations. If you know me, I'm just not into the translation stuff. There are some movies, Marvel, etc., Shazam, I thought were very good. It's a good translation, but generally speaking, whatever medium it's in, I like that. I don't want to see others. World War Z, wonderful novel. I wouldn't want to see a comic of it, and I didn't like the movie, right? Novel. And so on. There are some exceptions, but that's just who I am. So comic book movies, forget about it. Don't need it. Don't want it. TV shows, same thing. So when HBO is going to do this, and I'm a little bit more on the Alan Moore side. I'm on the hey, do we have to keep mining these properties? Can we not create something original? Right? Doesn't it show how weak you are when you keep going back to the same thing and you keep praying this over and over every year just to make sure that the rights don't transfer over? That kind of stuff. It does kind of bug me, right? So I've not wanted to watch it. Well, guess what? I finally got HBO for a month. I said, I'm going to watch it. I'm just going to watch the first episode. And it sucked me in. I admit it. It sucked me in. It was the right level of... I didn't know if he was even going to talk about the comics. I didn't know how much it even goes into it. Well, it goes in pretty well. It goes into the comics very well. Once you get in a couple episodes and you're like, oh yeah, under the hood and this and that, and it's not just like Easter eggs. It's like the comics. So I was stoked about that. I was like, okay, I'm digging it. Well, I got into it to the nth degree. I watched the whole thing in just a couple days. And should I spoil or something? I want to do a detail, and I might on the podcast, the Under Salazar Show podcast, I might actually go into each episode and break that all down, because there's episode 5 or so when something happens that is in this book that doesn't happen in the movie. The ending I'm talking about. When they keep the book's ending, I flipped out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. I wanted that ending. And they kept it. And it's important, and it's critical, and it's the whole purpose of the show is that ending. And I felt like the movie just totally missed all that. Like nuclear bombs, whatever, Okay, so I was a huge fan. So what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. I had an impulse buy. It happens every now and then. I'm generally very cautious about what I buy, especially books. I have stacks. The reason why I'm on this side and not that side is because it's a bit of a disaster over there. I'm doing some modeling with my son during the COVID thing, and I've got some comics I'm working on, so it's kind of a disaster over there. So I said, I'll shoot this side. But I've got stacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, three short boxes, 4 stacks of comics, 2 shelves. I've got tons of stuff I haven't even read. I have not even read them yet. But I was like jonesing for the Watchmen. I'm like all into it again. I'm like, I've read the books, I got the shows. So I did a crazy impulse buy. I purchased from an online retailer. We won't mention their name, but I'll say that they, I think they're originally from Canada, and they were all about used books. Not so much now. So I bought some stuff. So here's my unboxing. Booyah. And I went there generally because it was just a huge discount, right? That's, to be honest. I bought this bastard. It's massive. I haven't even read this yet. But I wanted to show it to you. I actually started reading a little bit of it. I got this, and I also got this too. I got this, and I got Doomsday Clock. Okay. Got Doomsday Clock. Now this is part 1. I think there is a part 2 that should be coming out pretty soon. I'm not a big fan of the when they put out in hardcovers like this for just like 6 issues. If you got 6 issues, just put it in trade. You don't have to hardback a freaking 6-issue book. I'm just like, whatever. But I got it because I'm like on this kick. And so I went a little impulsy. So, it is what it is. And I got this big, over 1,000 pages. Now I have behind me, those are all bound books, but even those books aren't as much as it. This is a lot. We'll turn the camera over and we'll look at this, but it's pretty well done. I like the spine. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Opens nice. You're not getting a lot of gutter loss, which is good. It's actually so dang big though. It's just so luggy. I honestly think it would have been better to do 2 volumes, split it in half, and put a slipcase. Slipcase with 2 would have been better, just easier, because this thing is going to be just, for the next couple weeks I'm trying to read this thing, it's just going to be hard and a pain, and I ain't got time for that. But anyway, it is beautiful. It is pricey retail, but again, you can get it for 40% or more off. That's what I would definitely recommend. And let's go ahead and dive down on Before Watchmen. Let's go check it out, okay? Here we go. Let's see. Boom. Hey, everybody. Let's do a little deep dive on the old Before Watchmen Omnibus. This is, of course, the prequel to The Watchmen. Originally, I literally only bought this because I got into the HBO show. When I first heard about it, I was completely anti because, again, I'm such a Alan Moore mark, and I just thought this was like going back to the well. Not a fan, but that said, I bought it. So there you go. This retails for, I think it's $125, which is pretty damn big penny. But if you were to, buy all the trades, I think it's basically 10 trades of 1 to 6 or 1 to 4 issues. It'd probably be around that. So there you go. It's actually kind of a nice little dust jacket. I like that right there. So we'll take that off here in a second. We'll take this little bad boy off. Again, I haven't read this yet. I'm just got it just now, but I like this. It might be nice if this was yellow or something, but it is kind of embossed. It's got this embossed little thing here. This all black is fine, but again, maybe yellow would have been nice. Nothing fancy here, pretty simple, basic. The binding is pretty decent. Because it's so damn big, they do a nice binding. It's glued, it's also Smith sewn, it looks like. When you open it, it's a pretty good job of you're not losing too much. I mean, it's really hard, but I'm not having any gutter loss here. So that's really good. I think they're probably doing better than some of the others. I've heard other of these omnibuses, you do lose a lot of gutter. So this looks like it's a pretty good job of that. Oh, there's Rizzo. Looks like Eduardo Rizzo there. That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, this is Rizzo. Oh, that's exciting. So one of the reasons why I did want to get this is because Darwin Cook is in it. I'm a big fan of Darwin Cook. And I noticed that when you look at this book, it's actually planned out. I guess Azzarello did a lot of these issues too, but it's planned out by it breaks down the issues I guess by time. So it's Minutemen number 1, Silk Spectre number 1, Comedian number 1, Night Owl number 1, Ozymandias number 1, number 2, number 2, number 2, number 3, number 3. So it's kind of broken out, I guess, chronologically, which is kind of cool because I think hopefully the stories are all going to be interwoven. I'm really looking forward to that if that is true. So that's kind of cool. So it's kind of a nice way to read it, probably better than just reading all of the Minutemens and then the Silk Spectres and everything like that. So that's kind of cool. I'll just show you a quick look at some of these Darwin Cook ones because I did read a couple of these first. I'm such a big fan of his. Again, coming from, having all that animation background really shows here and really kind of looks great. The way it's kind of simple but yet dynamic. Great coloring. The coloring is by Phil Noto, which I didn't know Phil Noto did coloring. He's a wonderful artist. I loved his stuff on Jonah Hex, some of the other work he's done for DC and Marvel. I didn't know he was just like a strict colorist. So that was kind of interesting. Just great positions and just dynamic kind of panels. This is a great sequence here. This I really love this page here. The Dutch angle here of this coming around. This is great. Some really great. This here too. This is just a great page. A lot of this stuff is really fun. Really love it. I mean, he is definitely a masterclass type of guy. One of the best. So, big fan of this. Really excited to kind of like get a Darwin Cook. And what's also cool is that I'll get some Darwin Cook every so many pages, which is cool. So it won't just be like the first part is, and then I have to go through a bunch of sludge. And I shouldn't say sludge because there's a lot of other great artists. Amanda Conder's here. There's all kinds of different artists. Rizzo we saw a moment ago. I'm a big fan of Jali. So Jali's in here. So looks like there's a lot of good art. Again, I don't know what the story's like. I don't know how well it's connected. I don't know what that's going to be about. But since it is before Watchmen, I'm assuming it's all going to kind of culminate into those characters that we know from Watchmen. So it should be just kind of a nice fleshing out of these guys and their backgrounds and that kind of stuff. So excited to read about it. And then I'll check out Doomsday Clock, which I have no idea what that's about. So anyway, massive book, $125. I kind of went crazy. I only got it for, I think it was like 60 or something like that. But still, this will take me a while to read, so it should be fun. So there you go. This is Before Watchmen, quick video for you guys. Feel free to check out the podcast, my other channel. Subscribe to this guy. Check out my Patreon, some of my new comics. I'm working on Boaz tonight, which is a new book I'm excited about. And there you go. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Bye.